Hello, everyone. It is me, Alison. The episode that you're about to hear is one that perhaps you've heard before. It's the one where we do the Bumbershoot recap. However, recently, more than one person let me know that the drop that Jeff made for this is their favorite drop and that this is actually their favorite episode ever of my show. I haven't listened back to it in a long time, but my memory is that it was really funny, really delightful, and I don't want to give away what happened, so I'm not saying up here, but life handed us an adventure, specifically Daniel. It handed Daniel an adventure at a time that he didn't want an adventure because he had something specific that he wanted to experience that night, and he wasn't able to experience it because he was on a different journey of self-discovery involving why fish have butts and, various other things. Yeah, it's something that I still laugh about. I feel like it really worked out well, even though for him it didn't work out at all. And I wish he were here right now. I wish I could interview him. It makes it sound, I'm making this sound like Daniel died or something. He didn't die. He's just in the house. We don't have childcare this week. We didn't have childcare last week either. We have a few people filling in here and there, but for the most part, we're, raising our children ourselves while trying to work jobs, which is completely unnatural. And it's not what God intended. So what I'm saying is I need to do like a one-on-one with Daniel and get his feedback on this stuff too. You know what? I'm just going to call him. I'm going to call him from the studio and he's going to answer and he's going to be annoyed. But let's just see how he feels about both me calling him and anything he might remember from the episode. Hold, please. Jeez. It's been so long since I've made a phone call, I don't really know how to do it anymore. Okay, here we go. Put it on speaker. Hello. Hi. Hang on. I want to put you on speaker. Hi. Okay. I'm in the studio right now and I'm recording a little something to go on top of a rerun episode. And would you have just a second for me to just ask you a question on air?
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Owen, honey, I told you I can't. I'm sorry.
It sounds like all hell is breaking loose right now.
Yeah, it's just...
You know what? I'll call you back later. Okay, bye. Or I'll talk to you when I come in. It's fine. Everything's going well. When I last saw them, Owen was making planets out of some kind of clay. I don't know what he's asking Daniel for. Probably sounds like some kind of errand to be run. Anyway, sorry to, you know what I don't like? I don't like when people say, yuck, you're yum. I can barely even get the words out. Atrocious. I prefer harsh, you're mellow if you're going to say something along the lines of that. However, I feel that I have, can I even say it? Can I get the words out? I have, you're by making you listen to that little snippet of what's happening inside the house. Anyway, enjoy this episode. Subscribe to my Patreon. Subscribe to my Substack. Buy my merch. Subscribe to my YouTube. And leave a review of this here podcast, won't you please? I'll be reading them on the show soon. Okay, here we go. Here's the episode.
And now, live from Dining Room Studios in Hollywood, California, it's the Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend show. Tonight, Alison welcomes her guests. She's a comedian and former child star who's been called the Hannah Montana of South Korea by me. It's Jenna Kim Jones. He's getting ready to be a new father by keeping a bad pun journal and ordering the NFL package. It's Allan Moss. And he's a producer whose show just wrapped and is now entering surf and fishing mode. But don't worry, he'll still be in drinking beer and sticking things up his butt mode. It's Greg Heller. Chef Jeff is here to put his whiz on your cheesesteak. I'm her husband, Daniel, and I think I'm starting to feel normal again. And by normal, I just mean miserable. Saying hop on board the love bus and say hello to your new best friend, Alison Rosen.
Alison is your new best friend. Alison, with her the good times never end. Alison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Alison, Alison's your new best friend.
Hello, my little crab apples. It's me, Alison Rosen. Welcome to another exciting Thursday show. First show back after Bumbershoot. I would like to say hello to my guests. Hello, Greg Heller.
Hi, Alison.
Hello, Jenna Kim Jones.
Hey.
Hello, Allan Moss.
Hello.
Hello, Daniel Quantz.
Hi.
Oh, hi, Chef Jeff.
Hi, Alison. I was just accosted by Girl Scouts selling cookies out in front of your place. They're so aggressive. I don't know how I feel about it.
I feel they're immoral fucknuts.
Oh.
Strong statement. I don't know if I
Alison.
go that far, but close.
It really is.
Jeez.
Wow. I don't hold back. So a lot to get to in this episode. We have stories from Seattle. We have a special Greg game, which I am very excited about.
Very good.
All sorts of stuff. And also an announcement. We have t-shirts. Yay!
Yay.
Special Snuggleberry shirts. The men's are dark gray, dark heathered gray, and
Gunmetal gray.
yeah, just like the iPhone.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Daniel is obsessed with the new iPhone, and we'll be watching like a movie or a TV show, and then I'll fall asleep on the couch as I do, and I'll wake up, and he's just watching the keynote address again.
That's awesome.
Not again. I just watched it once.
I think you want to
No.
watch it again.
I'm so proud of you.
Because
I'm proud
I
of you.
pointed
Thank you,
out that weird mannered way that the woman was speaking, and
Yes.
you were very familiar with it, familiar enough to do an impression.
Oh.
Can you do it now?
I don't know if let's see if I can do it. It's like, I'm very excited. I don't know if I'm very excited to be the first person to introduce you to the brand new Alison.
But it's the way it's like English is their second language. It's like
Yeah.
a very particular mannered way of speaking
Yes.
that makes me feel like they practiced each line reading, and it's distracting from the meaning of what they're saying.
Yes.
It's part of the hypnotism.
I guess.
Yeah. I
And
think
then
that
you
they-
were saying that that's like a very Apple.
There's a style. I mean, I've just noticed it too. And it like every single person that gets on that stage has this very like slow, the words they used are very positive and hopeful. And
it's
I think
mesmerizing, but like it lulls you into not thinking about Apple stuff.
the
not
whole thing
thinking.
is very carefully designed. I mean, the entire theater is all black except for the screen and with the Apple logo. And, you know, I don't know. I think they're trying to present, I think the idea is we're presenting the future and nothing else exists except what we're showing you right
I mean,
now.
just hearing about it puts my brain to sleep, and I forget what I was even saying.
You
What
were-
was I? Oh, the t-shirts. You were saying
Yeah.
they're gunmetal
We were
gray.
talking about t-shirts.
The women's are light blue and they're V-neck.
Yeah.
And if you go to my website, AlisonRosen.com, there's a picture of a t-shirt on the right and I think it says you need a shirt. Click on that. It'll take you to the site where you can buy them. Yay.
Buy them.
They're so fun.
It's all fun.
And there's one for the ladies too.
That's what I already mentioned.
I don't listen to what you say.
Okay, great. And as I said before, we're back after, I feel, a triumphant and phenomenal time at Bumbershoot. We missed you a lot, Greg Heller.
I missed you guys too. I was
Yeah.
very sad to not be there.
Next year.
It
next
was
year,
fun.
next
Yes.
year in Jerusalem or
Yeah.
Bumbershoot, whatever.
You would have had fun.
I would have had a lot of. I was bummed I was not there. My apologies to all of you. I just had a bunch of shit to do and I couldn't pull it.
You had important stuff to do here.
Yeah, I had to work. And I actually could have flown up for one day, but I was so tired I just would have not even been that cool. But I was jealous, and I followed you guys closely using Twitter.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Well, it was super fun. As we record this, still a little question about, people have been asking what's going to happen with the episodes. Where can we hear them? There's a lot of curiosity, a lot of interest. I've been going back and forth a bit about whether to release them as regular episodes or whether to release them as like pay what you wish premium bonus content, which by the way, I should say, and I'm revealing too much, but that's not at all a money-making scheme. That is me having worked on that other show, being well aware that listeners aren't always ecstatic about hearing a live show. So not wanting to bum people out. However, I do, Jeff and I have been talking about it. There's a lot of curiosity about these episodes. I think people do want to hear them one way or another. Well, I mean, one of them, the Doug Benson, Andy Letterman episode, by the time you hear this, that one you will have already heard. And I think you will have loved it. But one way or another, the episodes will get to you. But it was so much fun, and it was so great to meet the fans. There were so many people that came out, and they were all so nice. And I've been on a Bumbershoot high since, unlike the one that we're going to get to in a story that will be coming soon. But I've just kind of been floating since then. What about you guys?
Totally. It was so much fun. I was so glad we were able to go.
Yeah.
And I forgot, I'd never done a live podcast before, and I had no idea it would be so exciting. It was really, really fun.
It's so different to do it live. It's just, I didn't really get to participate verbally because there was so much going on.
Right.
But it was just, the energy was completely different. It was the same show, but it was just a lot more fun. And hearing people laugh and getting to interact with people.
And having Trap Dog, Tom Rapp
So
there,
great.
playing the songs live
So
on
great.
stage.
Cool.
That was
Loved
amazing.
He killed it. The first couple that
Yeah.
he did, I actually looked down at my computer because he was so good that I thought, did I play the wrong drop? Did I play the one that already has his voice? Because he really nailed the vocals.
Yeah, he
Right.
did. It sounded
Did
perfect.
he do
yeah.
Snack Chat live?
Yes,
He
he
did.
He did two versions
Twice.
of
And
it.
he was able to do
Yeah,
that?
he did. And one with a snack in his mouth.
Yeah.
It was pretty amazing. He's also really funny.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when he would, well, I don't want to step
We
on
need to
the
do
episode,
more
but
live shows and figure out how to get him out here.
I know.
Yeah,
I've
that
been
would be
thinking that as
awesome.
well. Opportunity
that.
for you to participate.
It'd be really fun to do a live show here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Imagine just like 20 people in this room.
Oh, in this room.
Yeah.
Like in the
That would
dining room.
It'd be very intimate.
It's super intimate. Also,
That
I don't
would
have
be
to live
fun.
here or whatever, but I do think it would be fun.
We'll just set up some risers in the corners.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That would be cool. So let's just get right into the story that I would like to hear recounted. Daniel accidentally ate a pot cookie.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. This was quite a traumatic event for me.
So everything went perfectly pretty much the whole trip.
Yes.
Everything was great. Everybody was having a good time. Everybody was happy. And it was really the groups, we were all getting together for dinner after the last show.
Right. So we had
we're all
talked
gonna-
about when are we going to have
Yeah.
a group dinner. And we decided to do it on Monday after the last show as like a celebratory dinner. And Daniel was really looking forward to it because it meant so much to both of us to have everyone there. And he had casually mused before because pot is legal in Washington State, right?
Yes.
He had sort of casually mused about maybe we should, I don't know, it might be fun to get edibles or something like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, there was
I was
some,
disavowed of that feeling after this event.
there was some free Bumbershoot swag, which they were telling the performers about upstairs in a dressing room. And it was all kind of hush hush because there like wasn't enough to go around. But they're like, hey, if you want to go up there and grab some stuff. So I went up there and I grabbed, there was like a tote bag and some sunglasses. And there was a pile of, those Justin's high-end peanut buttery things. So there were some peanut butter. Because I'm no carb, I was like, I'll grab some of this stuff for Daniel. So I grabbed some dark chocolate peanut butter cups, and then almond butter and peanut butter. And then they had these little packages of gourmet cookies, and it's chocolate chip cookie and snickerdoodle.
And the almond butter and the Justin's are all things you see in Whole Foods. They were all brands I recognized.
Right.
Totally.
So
Wait, why is
it's
this the first I'm hearing of chocolate peanut butter cups?
I know.
Oh, sorry. I thought I included that in the story.
Excuse me. I have to go to Seattle. I'll be right back.
Yeah, they were good too.
So anyway, you were really hungry.
I
We
hadn't
did the
eaten all day.
shows. We walked Wendy, came back, and Wendy got filthy. So we were giving her a bath. And you said to me that chocolate chip cookie was really gross. There was like
let me
lavender
just-
or something
So
in it.
I was so hungry, and I did that math of like, well, we're gonna have dinner in a couple hours, so I don't want to get food, but we have these snacks, and so I didn't want to have a candy, I didn't want to have the peanut butter cup, so there were these cookies. I figured, and I just looked at it, and I'll show you guys the package here in a second. I looked at it, opened it, just popped it in my mouth, and as I'm chewing on it. It's like, these gourmet things that they put like fucking lavender in or whatever. Is like, oh, this is not like they put lavender or something in it and it tastes nasty. Like it's not even that sweet, but I ate the shit out of it. All right.
Which I thought was weird because my memory of the package was it just said chocolate chip.
Yeah. So here, I'll pass it around.
Oh my
So
gosh.
later I went to look at it because I
Pass
was
that
so
shit around, Doc.
baffled by the mention of lavender or some herb in it. And I looked and in tiny little writing, what does it say?
I mean, if
Jenna.
you're not
in tiny, it does say this product contains marijuana.
But it's very small.
Yeah.
Not,
But it's at the
It's
bottom.
small, yes.
The
It's
good
like
chip.
Like this is what I saw. I saw in big writing at the top.
sea salt. Yeah.
I would suggest. So it says this is a sea salt chocolate chip cookie. I would suggest the main ingredient is neither sea salt, chocolates, chips, or cookies, but is actually fucking marijuana. So it should be like fucking marijuana, sea salt, chocolate chip cookie.
right. So I came into the other room. It's small, right?
It's like a weird sketch.
Yeah, it's very
Right?
it's very weird.
Oh, actually, though, right underneath chocolate chip cookie,
Well,
it says
it says
10 milligrams of THC for
Yeah,
one
but
serving.
it's not. I wasn't. Yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't know
It's
what
not
that
like it
meant.
wasn't
Yeah.
noticed or it wasn't on there. It's just
On the
that
back, it
wasn't
says,
super obvious.
caution when eaten or swallowed. The intoxicating effects of this drug may be delayed by 2 hours or more. Don't I know it? And then it says, right under that, this is your captain speaking. We recommend starting with a half serving to responsibly
Yeah.
reach cruising altitude.
I would
Overdoing
too.
it can spoil the ride.
Definitely take half a serving.
Oh yeah.
So, Daniel, you did not have a half serving.
Nope. the whole thing.
I ate the whole goddamn thing.
So I came in and I said, Daniel, that cookie had marijuana in it.
Right.
And you
I
looked
had
up
been
from your
staring at my phone for like an hour.
a long time.
And I looked up. You know how that thing when you guys don't, but like when you're starting to get high, but you start doing something before you start getting high, and then you get high while you're doing that thing, you don't realize it, and then you look up, and it was like, oh yeah, it did have marijuana in it because I'm fucking high right
I
now.
think you said that to me. You're
This
like,
is-
I'm really stoned.
This is
Yeah.
known in my circle of friends as the slide.
Yeah,
That's what it's called.
the slide. Okay, yeah. So that was the slide, and yeah, it was definitely like okay, but at that point I was still okay. I'm just high. I can manage. But
Right. You hadn't shifted into laying on the ground for a long
well,
time.
I tell you, laying on the ground and playing with Wendy is a lot of fun when you're high. So I did that for God knows how long.
We actually have a recording of that.
Oh shit, that was. Nothing is less enjoyable than being super fucked up when you didn't mean to be super fucked up. So that was part of the.
So normally when you eat weed, you get high and then you just get higher and higher and higher
That's
for 3-4
pretty much
hours.
how it
yeah.
was. It was like, oh, this is getting worse. Like this is getting more and more high as the evening went on, not less at any point.
And at one point, you suggested we delay dinner, and you were laying on the bed.
I
and
thought
then
I
you
was going to
said-
come out of it because every time I've never had an ingestible. So every time I've ever gotten high, it's like, okay, this is it. This is like at that point, that's as high as I'd ever been.
Mhm.
So I was like, now I'm going to come down. Little did I know I was still on the ascent of that roller coaster, you know, like I wasn't even near the top at that point.
So then I said to you, well, the good news is I'm not high, so I can sort of guide
Yeah,
you
that's
through
the
this.
good news.
Oh, trip sitter.
Yeah.
That's the
Trip sitter.
I was
Yes.
trying to remember that word
She was my
earlier.
trip sitter. She was
So,
my trip sitter.
We get in the car and we pass the Westin, which is the hotel where everyone else was staying, and we had passed this hotel almost every time. And I was like, "Oh, hey, look, the Westin." And you look at that, and what was it that? Can you remember what you said? You said,
I think I said
Like,
like I can't even
I
deal with
can't
that
handle
right now.
this right now.
"Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't even
I
deal
can't
with
even begin to deal with that. I can't even begin to handle that right now." Like as if I had given him a complex math problem, and I was like, "Yeah, I can't even begin to deal with that right now."
The thing is,
And
my
I-
memory of that is like, it's funny because the memory is a high memory.
Yeah.
Right. It's not a sober memory. So my memory of that is like, yeah, that was fucking intense. Like, what do you mean? Like, that was the fucking Westin you pointed out. You know,
and I
but then
remember
in my sober, self now goes, there was literally nothing about that other than you pointed out a hotel.
And I remember saying, you don't have to do anything about it. I was just pointing it out. And then I think you handed me your credit card like more than once in the car because I think you knew that you weren't going to be able to handle paying
Yeah.
for the cab.
paying the cab.
We got out, we came in, got to the restaurant. You guys were already there.
by the way, this restaurant had like these weird leather backed chairs that were like all weirdly oversized.
That
you know what
was
I mean?
real.
That
Like-
yes, that
But I
did
felt like
happen.
I was entering into, Wonderland. Like, and now eat this cookie and you're going to be tiny. It was like everything was like exaggerated in this weird way. And it was very disorienting.
The waiter was too intense for
The
him.
The waiter was
way
he
too
super
fucking
No.
I mean,
No, he was
The
way
thing-
too
the problem
intense.
is he doesn't know, and so he's like trying to be like, "Hey, what's going on, man? Oh, you
The
want some
waiter,
ginger
all
ale?"
right, my memory of the waiter was like, he was way too into this restaurant. Like, he was so into it. Like, he was like, it was like he was like the biggest fucking fan of this
He
food.
was.
Like,
I think he actually
he
said
was a
that.
fan,
right?
though.
Oh yeah,
say I love this restaurant.
doesn't
I love
grocery
this.
shop
that
anymore.
meal
He
is the
just-
best fucking dish I've ever had in my life. It's like, dude, fucking dial it down, man. Can't you see how high I am?
I think that's why every time like the waiter would walk away, you'd look up and giggle like, like
And when he first came on, he thought you were hungover because you were just
Oh, right.
leaning over with
Head
your
on the
head in your
table.
hand.
Yeah, like all of a sudden
And-
I had ginger ale in front of me,
Yeah, and
which
he
was
was
that
like,
fake
"Come on,
ginger ale that they do where it's Coke and Sprite. It tastes nothing like ginger ale. It's like, here's your ginger ale. It's like, ugh.
You didn't immediately start drinking? When you're that high, it helps to have like a couple of cocktails to
You
sort of
already
take the
I
had
edge
a
had
off.
beer
been
in him.
drinking when I had a beer when I ate the cookie, and I felt like it on an empty stomach. It was making it worse. I didn't want to throw up or anything, so that's why I didn't.
well, we handed him a menu and he just went, "I can't even handle this."
By the way, the menu was insane. And like, it was like this huge, it was one of those huge oversized menus, and it was like one side only eggs. It was like eggs and fucking like on the other side there was something. It was like, how do I find the stuff where I want to eat it? Like, I don't want omelets and eggs. Was it an eggs only restaurant or something? What was the deal with that place?
No, it just had a lot of breakfast
A lot of
options.
fucking eggs.
Yeah, it did.
We chose it because it had a lot of options.
For people who like eggs. And then on the other
Well,
side,
Alison and I did eat eggs.
Yeah.
we had eggs. I know.
Yeah.
And then the other side had like pasta stuff or something. I don't even know. And it was like, so apparently I won because I got the best thing this guy had ever had.
Right. It
It
was
was a
called
chicken parm.
The Believer.
I got the
think.
Believer.
And it would make a believer out of you. I think I helped you order.
You did. You were.
I think so.
You were so nice and like calm and very gentle.
was particularly
You like
sweet.
lasagna.
Yes,
Is there
it was.
lasagna on there? But
Okay.
no, we found the chicken parm.
And it's so like, it's such a weird thing to be high in the first place. Cause I was actually able to get a sense of what my brain does when I'm high in a way that I never had before because I was around sober people.
Right.
You know, I was like super self-conscious of my being high. And I realized what happens for me is that I get disconnected from my thoughts. There's this weird thing where I'm having all of this input and then there's this part of me that's above it. That's like, hi, I'm having thoughts and I'm reflecting on it. And it's this weird thing that's happening. And that just, all that sensory input just becomes something I can't manage because I'm not inside of it. It's like it's happening over there. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with that. And so I just put my head in my hands because it was
Well,
like
you
I
did
needed
stop and just say, "What is
was-
happening?"
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Several times. No, you would. What happened?
It was part of a story
Yeah,
you were telling.
you were actually
Yeah.
like super coherent a
I
lot
wanted.
of the
I
time.
was listening to you guys having this conversation. I wanted to be involved. I was like, oh, this is
Remember when
probably so interesting.
Spader. You're trying to remember the name of the guy who replaced Carell in The Office.
Yeah.
And no one could remember. And then you, with your head in your hands, because the rest you couldn't handle all the input in the restaurant. You just go Spader.
Yeah. But I remember like at one point I was like, I have to fucking get involved in this conversation. So I started talking and then it was like the coyote when he goes off the cliff, you know, and then he looks down and is like, it was like I was talking and then I'm like, I have no idea if I'm making any sense right now. What the fuck? Like I'm talking, but I'm not, and it was just like, what is happening?
Well, you were telling some story that had some kind of existential ennui to it, and then you just skidded to a stop and went like, what's the fucking point? And we were all listening going, is that part of the story?
Right.
Is
You
that
know
the
was
conclusion?
in the story or
No,
not.
And you're like, no, I don't know what I'm talking about.
I just was, what?
You're like, am I making sense? But you were.
You
But
were.
Do you remember what the story was he was telling when he said, what is happening?
That was I don't know.
What is going
It was
on?
such a perfectly told story. It was making perfect sense.
Was
And then
it?
you just stopped and said, "What is happening?
I was convinced that what I was thinking was making sense, but what was coming out of my mouth was complete nonsense.
No, you were perfect.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. I wish I could remember. We should have been taking notes.
How long were you high for?
Oh my, all night. I mean, it was hour. It was a long time. I mean,
You
I
came
went to bed
home
high.
and laid on the floor for a while too, and took artistic.
yeah, I
photos of
found these
Wendy.
pictures in my phone of Wendy that I think I was trying to be all arty. They're the worst, like, stupidest pictures. They're like her. She's like got her paws on the table, and there's this orchid, and I'm like framing her with the orchid. I'm like, oh, she's so. This is like, I don't know what the fuck. Here's the thing: when you're high, and this is no news.
I'm very confused.
Yeah, when you're high, you are such a doof to everybody outside who's sober. I mean, there's
Mostly
nothing
entertaining.
interesting that's coming out of your mouth. There's no thought that's all that profound.
Just
No-
thinking back on like 4 of my 10 performances here at the Alison Rosen show.
I don't know. It's oh god.
I think you could have pulled it off, except for that you looked so mortified when you showed up at the restaurant.
I think that I don't like
Yeah.
being in that state of mind.
Yeah,
and
you didn't
having
look too
to
happy.
be like.
But also,
having
that's
to-
like a thing about drugs and weed, particularly, I think,
Yeah.
and other ones that like having to pull it off makes it not fun.
Right.
yeah.
You know, that's not why you're doing it. I've never understood. I knew so many guys growing up and still now that are hardcore stoners that if you get high with them and you act high, they're like fucking rookie. And
Oh.
their whole objective is to not let anyone know that they're stoned, which is
Okay.
a weird thing about
So that's what
stoners.
I was thinking about that thing. You know, so there's that thing of those guys who smoke a lot of weed that are always just like, got that serious face while they're
Right.
high, you know, and it's like, yeah. And I think that's just, they have that face and they're all mellow because it's all they can do to not do what you want to do when you're high, which is go, bleh,
Right.
like, and just go, bleh, and fall on the ground and just drool and like play with baubles in the air. Like, it's like, so you just gotta hold it together, you know?
Were you high the next day?
Yeah. So the next day I go to work and
We flew back and then he went.
yeah,
to
I
work.
had to go to work, and like at 3 p.m, I'm sitting there thinking, and I'm like, oh, I'm still fucking high, you know? Like I was like not high where I couldn't perform, but high where I was still not quite 100%. I
Right.
couldn't, you know, and yeah.
Can I just share 2 more quick things from this? As we left the restaurant, you said you have no sense of the restaurant. If we told you you'd been at a country western bar,
Yeah.
that would sound right.
Yeah, I didn't have any idea where the fuck we were.
And
And like you could have said, we had dinner at a table in the middle of a giant ballroom that was designed for square dancing. I would have been like, yeah, that's where we were. I had no idea.
And do you remember announcing this was your deep thought while you were stoned?
Oh, I'm so excited. What was it?
It
I can't
was
remember.
that humans are the only animals with butts.
Yeah.
And what is
Right.
what is the purpose of butts? Now, granted, some monkeys have butts for presenting. That was the argument against your theory, which is butts are there to protect your underwear in case a little poo comes
Unless
out.
you poop.
When you fart.
That's funny.
I
You were
think
very
tons of
serious.
animals have butts. Don't they? Like hundreds of animals have butts. I think if you even were to be scientific about it, like fish probably have butts.
I think he
I don't-
meant the
I don't
like
defend this
protruding
thought
butt
now.
cheeks.
He meant
Let's
the
be-
cheeks.
please
yeah.
keep in mind.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I should
meant
have
the
been
butt
clear.
cheeks.
They all have
They have
anuses.
butts.
You meant butt cheeks as like a
Yeah.
underwear. A first
It's
line
a-
of defense for your underwear.
That's right. It was the first
And Jenna and I kept saying comfort. You have them
Yeah.
like to sit on.
comfort, and also because people find butts attractive.
Oh yeah, and you
Part
said
of the right.
Right.
and you
Yeah.
said monkeys didn't have butts because monkeys don't sit.
Well,
Oh,
Oh, you did say that.
I had forgotten about that.
they don't.
Oh,
that's right. You announced
See-
that as your deep thought
Yeah.
of the dinner.
But see, I hear this and it's just like, oh, what an idiot.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Todd Perry, co-host of Alison and Todd After Hours on Patreon. And I'm biased, but the show's up there with my favorite Alison Rosen podcast. Top 3 at least. Why? Because of the fun topics. We've already discussed getting caught having sex, perverted teppanyaki chefs, filming yourself, Gen Z slang, slay, why Alison needs Ben Gay, astrology, the Adam Carolla show, pit pastors, a fight we had with a prominent politician, backhanded compliments, death, and why German men sit when they pee.
Like, well, I can't stand in pee. So he thought it was like sort of showing off, as if I'd be like, oh, bite my fist. Like, man, I wish I could do that.
Start now and get 2 shows a month for just $2 at patreon.com/Alison and Todd. Not sure if you're ready to subscribe? Check out hours of free previews at patreon.com/Alison and Todd. Alison with 1L, Todd with 1D.
Okay.
Can we
So-
play the tape now?
Sure.
Allison secretly recorded you guys having a conversation back at the hotel. Are you sure we can play it?
I mean,
Yes.
we can
Yes,
always
go
cut
ahead.
it
It's
out,
fine.
Yeah.
See, Daniel.
See, Daniel?
See, Daniel. See, Daniel.
See, Daniel?
Fucking dead horses. You look like you've been chatting box, man.
Isn't that weird?
Wow, how did you get that?
You're
That's
really
amazing.
hot.
I do remember that. Yeah.
That is amazing.
Well, I
Yeah, that
think
was
the
great.
whole time we did wish that Greg was there because I felt like, see, Al and I just got completely giggly and just
Right.
like I felt so bad for you, but at the same time, like couldn't stop wanting to just laugh hysterically.
That would have been
because
okay, I think.
I don't know what to do.
You know, there's
I
an
didn't know
intensity about edibles, especially if you eat too much of them. I know more people that have freaked out from eating weed than like mushrooms and acid.
Oh,
Wow.
I've eaten mushrooms. This was way more intense.
Yeah, it's actually kind of dangerous. Like you could,
Yeah.
I way more. I think more people have probably overdosed on eating weed than on like mushrooms and stuff like that. It can really, it fucks you up for a long time.
Yeah.
Sounds super unpleasant. So what is the benefit then of eating it as opposed to smoking it? I mean, not damaging your lungs, and it's just more, you can be more sneaky with it.
Yeah. Also, you're high for way longer.
Yeah.
Way longer.
I think. Listen, if I'd first of all, if I'd been able to plan it and do it when I wanted to be high, I would have had half of it would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
For sure. That's kind of the problem with eating weed is like the first time when you get a batch of edibles. This is why I don't really eat it. The first time you just don't know what the fuck is going to happen.
Right.
It's like, do I need a half a cookie or no? It turns out you need an eighth of a cookie, and
Yeah.
you just don't know. You just don't.
Right.
You just don't know. That first time is rough, and then after that, you dose it out. Shit's fine.
yeah, it's like when it's like when you started drinking, and Jenna, now you can chime in here. So when you start drinking, and you drink so much you throw up every single time, and then you get to a certain point where you realize
That was the first 10 years of my
yeah. But then you realize how to maintain. You know, like, okay, I can drink this many beers in this amount of time, and I don't want to throw shots in the middle of it. But if I do, you kind of figure that out. But I don't.
I mean, the classic weed eating story that everyone who's ever eaten weed will tell you is we ate it, we waited an hour, nothing happened, we ate the rest of
more.
it, and that's it. And that's it. It's classic
I
weed
almost
eating story.
texted you to find out, is there anything we can do to
lessen it.
Would
Eat
there have
tons of food.
Okay.
Eat tons and tons and tons of food. And I would also tell you to if you felt like it, to have a couple of cocktails, but eating tons of food really helps.
So the
I was going to
cocktails
either text
mixing
you or Doug Benson.
mixing pot and alcohol always
Text
makes me
Doug.
Yeah, right?
Mixing pot and alcohol has always made me throw up.
How's it?
Same.
Yeah.
Makes you spin.
Sometimes if I end up getting too high, like a couple of beers will take the edge off because the drunk sort of levels off the high. Hi, you guys. I'm a great guy. It's Greg here. How are you?
But you know what I'm wondering, Daniel? You know how you have your story of thinking that you accidentally smoked crack because you were with someone who
I
was
didn't smoke it. I was I was
Got
hotboxed
a
in a room with someone smoking crack, so I got a contact high.
Did you also
Rad.
smoke pot at that point, though?
No, I just
Oh,
inhaled
okay.
a lot of smoke that was
Where
crack
did you
smoke.
hotbox
Never
crack?
mind then.
In Vegas. A friend of mine had mixed. He was a hobbyist, and he liked to take cocaine and turn it into crack in his kitchen, and then he would mix it.
Hobbyist.
He would mix it with pot and make these little joints that were
Cocoa
that-
Puffs.
Yeah, well, there was a word for it. I forget what.
Yeah,
it was.
there's another word. They're
And
not
it's
called-
like ice or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was smoking weed, I thought, and then I was like close to him because we're in this small hotel room. Then we went down to the casino, and it was like, whoa! I remember, and I turned to him and I was like, I probably told this story. It's like, this is so stimulating in Vegas, like Vegas with the lights and the sounds. It's like so, and he just started laughing.
And the crack.
Yeah, he's like, dude, I was smoking crack. And
Vegas
Fun.
really makes your heart beat fast.
that's how I felt.
Right.
Yeah, I was like definitely high.
I think we have an iTunes comment of the week.
We do?
Alison wants your iTunes comments. Alison wants them, yes she does. Please leave her some iTunes comments and don't forget to click 5 stars.
Alison Rose is my niece. Sprocket Locket loves Ruby. And whenever I say her name, I can't help but say it in the tune of your show. So I was inspired to write while still listening to your Paul F. Tompkins episode. He's one of my favorite comedians, and adore hearing him improvise on Comedy Bang Bang. So it was interesting to hear him speak so frankly about anxiety and depression. The way he described the deep pressure sitting on his chest while he went through a period of depression, and I couldn't believe how accurately described how I had been feeling for the past few months. I don't know if I'll end up seeing therapy. Hearing his advice on the topic really made me want to explore it further. Thank you so much. And I'm super excited for what's to come for you, Alison, both in your professional and personal life. I want to thank you and the phenomenal Thursday crew for all the enjoyment you have brought me these past few years! Exclamation point.
Podcast boner, not laughing at the comment. I'm laughing with the comment at Al's reading of the comment. Thank you so much for that very nice iTunes
Lovely comment.
comment. If you would like your comment to be an iTunes comment of the week, leave us a nice comment. Click 5 stars is our favorite number. I should say, I was debating whether to say it, and then I thought, of course I will say it because people can't see it again. When we did our live Thursday show, we had the lights go dark, and we did an iTunes comment of the week during the show because I think it's now become a part that people love. We've lowered the lights and had a spotlight on Al.
Yeah. It was
No.
nice.
Yes.
It was awesome.
Pretty amazing.
It was awesome.
Little stagecraft.
Yeah. You missed
Theater
a
of the
lot of
mind.
fun.
Pretty special.
Oh, that sounds so fun.
I think people enjoyed it.
We'll do it again, right, Allison?
We have to.
Yeah,
We
it was
have
so.
to do it again.
Yeah,
We just gotta
have
get
to.
Trap Dog out. Okay. So we have a new game. It was Greg's idea. I'm very excited about it. We don't yet have a jingle for it, so we're going to repurpose one you've heard. Should we hear the jingle and then, Greg, you'll explain the game, or should you explain the game and then we'll hear the jingle?
I think you should hear the jingle
Here's
first.
the story of the man we adore. TV producer, writer, and more. Renowned musician, writes songs about Al. Is it any wonder it's his quiz time now? Greg Heller quiz. Greg Heller quiz. Greg Heller quiz. Greg Heller quiz. Well, Greg's no schnook, but he's an open book for everyone to see. He likes to smoke and drink and then create a stink with a Mojo magazine. Snapping a yam, I am what I am, got a drink named after me. The California asshole, he's hotter than he sounds, so let's watch him make a kale smoothie. The Greg Heller quiz. The Greg Heller quiz. The Greg Heller quiz. The Greg Heller quiz. When Greg is around, nobody's down, but with Roseanne he was a fail. Stole a maintenance truck while he was in college, and his mom let him ride in jail. He saw his dad naked when he was a kid. It's no wonder that he's crazy. Living on a budget imposed by the wife, but yoga and surfing are free. The Greg Heller quiz. The Greg Heller quiz. The Greg Heller quiz. The Greg Heller quiz. Greg is no dummy. In fact, he's pretty funny, especially his doggy drop. They can't get enough of the Heller wit till they finally try to make it stop. Naming his cat again and again. Number 18, I'll name my cat Ben. Now he's on the show and the fans love him so, and hope he comes back again. The Greg Heller quiz. The Greg Heller quiz. The Greg Heller quiz. The Greg Heller quiz.
Such a good song.
Can I just tell you that I know I have addiction issues because whenever I listen to people talk about being under the influence of drugs, it really makes me want to do that specific drug. So when Daniel was talking about that story, I was like, I kind of feel like going home and doing that tonight. And I might actually, you guys. So listen, here's the deal. I churned this out very quickly today, and as I'm reading it now, I realize that no one at this table is going to answer any of these questions correctly. I'm handing you now a paper with 7 phrases on it, and we are going to read these phrases, and then you are each going to write down your guess of what you believe these sentences mean. These are all written in very hardcore surf speak. I will read them as though a surfer, as opposed to a person who surfs, which is what I am. And you will then... How long? We don't really time these things, right?
No.
I've also stacked them in order from easiest to hardest, so they will get harder. And there's some twists in them, and some of them are moderately offensive. Are you ready for the game?
Yes.
Yes.
Everyone needs to say yes. I'm just kidding.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
Say yes. Everyone, hurry.
Yes.
Surf sentence number 1. Pre-fear gig at my pad with the bets. Tunes, vino, a little macking. Sick.
Okay, now we write down.
You write down what you believe that means, and I have written down the answers here on my own piece of paper. Pre-fear gig at my pad with the bets. Tunes, vino, a little macking. Sick. Pre-fear gig at my pad with the bets. Tunes, vino, a little macking. Sick. How many seconds is that, Jeff?
Okay.
All of them.
Okay.
What? It's going to take us a while to write all this down. I'm wondering
if what we should.
if we shouldn't just say it.
Oh, instead of writing it out.
Yeah.
Whatever you guys want to do it.
Honor system.
Okay.
Alison, pre-fear gig at my pad with the bets.
That'll work because Greg's not playing.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Tunes, vino, a little macking, sick. What do you perceive that to mean?
I think that means pre-party at my place with the ladies, music, wine, making out, awesome.
Jenna?
Oh, this is okay. I said pregame at my house with the ladies, music, drinks, food. Awesome.
Al.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, I was like pre-show party at my house with chicks, music, wine, and making out. Totally awesome.
Pre-party at my place with the girls. Music, wine, and kissing. Awesome.
Jeff.
Pre-event festivities at my house with the females. Music, wine, some canoodling. Wonderful.
I think we should write them out. I think
Okay,
it's more
all right.
fun.
Most
Yeah.
of you got this right, actually. I wrote these down very formal. The correct answer is, before the actual party, I invited a few of the girls to my house/apartment. We listened to music, enjoyed some wine, and kissed a bit. It was nice.
Okay.
Oh, so this already happened.
You did mean kiss. I
Right?
wasn't sure.
Oh, he's
No, you were
recounting.
right. You guys were all right.
Recounting.
Pre-fear. Fear means party. So the
Oh.
pre-fear gig is at that's the before the party
I
party.
had no idea of that.
Bets are women. Tunes, vino, obviously is on. Macking is kissing.
Mhm.
Like, oh, he fucking macked, bro. Is sick. And then just sick just means nice. So you guys did well. Nice entry level question.
I had no idea fear means party.
Really?
I didn't either.
But
That's
weren't
new.
they already?
What does no fear mean?
You're a douchebag. That's what it means. That has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
That's just some dumb thing from the 80s, I think. Okay, you guys. Question number 2. Like I said, some of them are a little blue.
It's okay.
Bro, did you peep the tates on that nugget? Sup with those? I'd pile that so hard. Bro, did you peep the tates on that nugget? Sup with those? I'd pile that so hard. So the key words here are peep, tates, nugget, and pile.
Okay. Everyone
Alison?
ready? Bro, that's a cognate. Did you see the breasts on that hot chick? I would like to have sex with her.
Jenna?
Almost exactly what you wrote. Dude, did you see the breasts on that hottie? Are those for real? I'd like to sleep with her.
Oh, I forgot the sup with those. Damn.
Al?
Hello, good friend. Did you see that well-endowed woman over there? How about those? I'd like to know her biblically.
Daniel?
Friend, did you see the breasts on that girl? What is the deal with them? I'd have sex with her.
Jeff?
My dear friend, did you make note of the ample décolletage on that attractive female? Capital. I would like to have sexual congress with her.
Oh, I almost wrote sexual congress. How funny.
All right, you guys are all right. I wrote down, friend, did you see the breasts on that woman? I am interested in them. I would make love to that woman with great passion. But I think all of those answers are acceptable. All right, they're getting harder. Question number 3. How sick is that new edit? That one boost is mental. Just clicked and stomped. How sick is that new edit? That one boost is mental. Just clicked and stomped. So the keywords here are edit, boost, mental, clicked. Alison?
I have an unfair disadvantage
You
because
do.
it comes to me faster. Hang on
Okay,
one
all right.
second. Okay, I am ready. How good is that new album? That one song is amazing. I downloaded and played.
Jenna?
Oh my gosh, you and I. How great is that new album? The song is so catchy. I listened and danced.
Al?
How awesome is that new song? That one part is awesome. I just played and danced.
Oh.
Yep. How great is that new song? That certain part is very good. I just pressed play and danced.
And Jeff?
Did you like that new song? That one track was most enjoyable. I downloaded it and danced.
It's like third grade reading.
No, you guys, you were all wrong. Nobody gets the point.
What?
An edit, that is what surfers call a video clip.
Oh.
And a boost is an aerial maneuver that is done in surfing. So the correct translation of this is, did you see the new video clip? One of those aerial maneuvers was both launched and landed with grace. Clicked is when you actually begin the aerial, and stomped means you landed it perfectly.
Wow.
We really blew it.
So
you
it's
guys.
very
How funny
common
that
to
we all thought it was. We all got it wrong in the same way.
Yeah.
It's very common to hear surfers say, "Oh, that boost was sick," and he stomped it. That means he
my
landed
word.
it like perfectly. And all surfing,
In my defense, I'm a longboarder, so I don't hear a lot of this talk.
all surfing videos are called edits. That's the thing. Oh, John dropped the sickest edit this week. Career.
Did you see on Instagram that I tagged you in a photo?
Yes,
of
I
Surf
did.
Speak?
Thank you,
Okay,
Alison.
You're welcome.
Okay, you guys, ready for this one?
I have. Okay, yeah.
Question number this one. We scored Richter TPs at Zuma. Pack was minor. Skinned it. All time. We scored Richter TPs at Zuma. Pack was minor. We skinned it. All time. We scored Richter TPs at Zuma. Pack was minor. We skinned it. All time.
All right, I have a guess.
Alison?
We found big waves at Zuma. It wasn't crowded. We surfed there. It was epic. I use surf language to describe surf language. It's probably not how it works.
Okay. Scored great waves at Zuma Beach. Crowds were small. Nailed the surf best ever.
I didn't get any of this.
We don't know that
All
we
I
did
could
either.
think of was earthquakes and Zumba class. That's all I could think of. I'm bowing out of this one.
Okay.
Al, you have to read your answer.
He didn't write. He's
I
not. He's
just
just
sat
been doing
there.
it.
I sat there and stared at my paper and couldn't think past scoring earthquake teepees, literal teepees.
Daniel?
We found really good waves at Zuma. It wasn't crowded. We surfed the waves. It was one of the best times I've ever had surfing.
Jeff?
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's a podcast. You have to talk.
I attained great peaky surf at Zuma Beach. There were very few other surfers. We surfed it. It was memorable.
Wow. So everybody got most of it. Jeff actually comes the closest because he knows that TPs means peaky surf.
What
correct,
is
Jeff?
peaky surfing?
That's actually a very specific way that waves are shaped.
If I may say, A-frames, brah.
A-frames, exactly, another term for TPs. So we scored Richter TPs at Zuma, means we got good, well-shaped waves at Zuma. Jeff gets a bonus point for saying peaky, and he should get a bonus point. There were relatively few other surfers in the lineup. Pack was minor. Skinned it means we didn't have to wear wetsuits.
Oh, it's so literal.
So the correct translation is we encountered fun, peaky waves at Zuma Beach. There were relatively few other surfers in the lineup. The water was warm, so wetsuits were not required. It was fun.
Oh.
So you guys all did pretty well, except for, I guess, Al did not do well. Okay. Question number
5.
I guess, yeah. AM sesh at Noops. Couple nuggets, some corners, some ramps. Then career burritos at Loked Out Mechie Joint. You! AM sesh at Noops. Couple nuggets, some corners, some ramps. Then career burritos at Loked Out Mechie Joint. You!
I need more time in case everyone's ready to call time because I can't write that fast.
No, this one's hard. Okay.
AM sesh at Noops. Couple nugs, some corners, ramps. Career burritos at Loked Out Mechie Joint. Yee! Allison?
Hang on.
Okay.
Allison.
Hang on. Oh. I'm just making sounds.
Oh my goodness. This is so hard.
Okay.
Allison.
Went to Newport in the morning. Some hot girls, some waves, and some other waves. And then we had some burritos at a local Mexican joint. It was awesome.
Oh, you know what? That makes way more sense than what I wrote. Okay. I wrote morning surf session at Newport. Couple of hotties, good waves, and surf. Then I totally missed this last part, but I put we got coffee at a cool place. Yeah.
Al?
Morning surf session at Newport Beach. A couple of really good-looking women. Some just okay. Some not good-looking at all. Then really good burritos at a hole-in-the-wall Mexican joint. Booyah.
Oh, that was pretty good, Al.
I think Al cracked it.
Yeah.
Okay. We surfed in the morning at Newport Beach. There were a couple hot girls, some certain type of wave called a corner, and another called a ramp. Then we had a really delicious burritos at a Mexican restaurant. I feel very excited about it.
I had morning surf session at Newport Beach. There were a few women. I didn't figure out the rest of it. Then fantastic burritos at a locally placed Mexican joint. Formidable.
You guys all did really well, actually. It's tricky because nuggets means women and waves. So it could be both. So I think everybody should get a point for that. This morning we surfed in Newport Beach, which Allison, as you will know, is often called Noops, I would imagine. The waves were well-formed and conducive to aerial maneuvers. That's what a ramp is. That's a specific kind of wave. Following that surf, we enjoyed delicious burritos at a nearby Mexican food restaurant frequented by locals. A hole in the wall, I believe, as Al said. And then you just means it was fun, good, whatever. Nice. You! If you follow surfers on Twitter, they will often button their tweets by just saying you. YEWWWWW.
There's so many
It's like the Ryan
characters in that.
Lotkey's or whatever when he did that.
It's
Okay.
like that. So you guys are all doing really. I thought this was going to be harder, actually.
It's really hard.
It's
I'm
not easy.
extremely stressed out right now.
Okay, there are two more. This next one, I'm going to alert you, has also dovetails into fishing a little bit.
That's your other
My
mode.
other thing, yeah.
You have two modes.
We got full. Oh, sorry. Question number 6. We got fully skunked on swell, like Lake Flat, but it was game on for yellows. Crazy topwater action, just footballs. We fucking slayed. Career.
Oh my God.
We got fully skunked on swell like Lake Flat, but it was game on for yellows. Crazy topwater action, just footballs. We fucking slayed. Career.
There's no career on our sheet, but it's okay.
I have no idea on this one.
I must have added, that was an addendum. Okay. Skunked. Lake Flat, yellows. Topwater action, footballs. Slay. Allison?
I need more time.
This is so... I have no clue on this one.
Okay.
Okay, Allison.
I'm going to have to do the rest off book because there's not enough time for me to write. Unfortunately, there were no waves, but there were all sorts of yellowfish at the top of the water. They looked like footballs. We caught a lot of them.
I didn't even finish either. At first, I thought maybe it was like fully skunked meant like drunken, but then you said the fish thing. So I said there were no good fish at first, but then there were fish. Then we swam through some footballs and had a great time.
The waves were not very good. Like, seriously, not very good. Nevertheless, we caught a lot of yellowtail fish. They were all up on top of the water, and they jumped out at us, and it was like shooting fish in a barrel.
Well, you really, that's what it is.
Ow.
Al's so smart.
Crushing it.
Well, I didn't finish because I heard Al's and I knew he was right while I was finishing mine. But
What
here
did
we go.
what do you have so far?
We didn't do well on some huge waves. we were laid out, but we did really well on foamy waves and were able to surf the top of them.
Footballs.
We did really well. I don't know.
There was no surf. There were no more waves than you would find in a lake, but there was ample fishing to be had, and we caught many yellowfin tuna. They were jumping out of the water. We caught many of them.
Okay, so you all came close. Footballs is like the super insidery surfer fisherman term for fish that are like round and fat. Like
okay.
tuna and yellowtail. They'll be like, oh, sick footballs at the island. So this one is, the waves were not ideal, so we opted to fish for yellowtail, which is what yellows are. They were abundant in the area. Many of them were quite large. We caught a number of them. It was fun.
Oh, man.
Slayed is the real insider term for catching fish. Bro, he slayed yellows at the island. Sick.
Do most surfers fish? Do all surfers fish?
When they hit a certain age, yeah, they all start fishing. Yeah. I feel like when you get into your 30s, you're like, okay, we're going on a trip. If the waves are good, great. If they're not good, we have to start fishing. Yeah. Most of them fish.
So it's just all about the ocean.
Yes.
That makes sense.
It's true. It's true. Okay, you guys, last one. This is impossible.
This one is so hard. Okay.
We got hosed by side shores. Too much chatter on the face. So we just shined and rolled to town, but wound up at some hitty kook bar with grim action. Local talent, weak sauce.
Hitty is a word that was used so frequently in high school. That people said hitty and they'd say whoa Nelly. Did you guys have a whoa Nelly phase?
Whoa Nelly.
Remember?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Gotta concentrate. I haven't written anything down yet. No one called.
We got hosed by side shores. Too much chatter on the face. So we just shined and rolled to town. Wound up at some hitty kook bar with grim action. Local talent, weak sauce. This shit is all real, by the way. It is so embarrassing to be a surfer. I'm so sorry that I ever started doing this. I really wish I was into, like, golf. I wonder if do golf people have dumb language?
You should hang out with me and my friends. We go surfing, then we get out of the water and discuss books.
I'd like to know some people.
We're talking about Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl right now. You'd enjoy it.
As in a pre-surf novel?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. I had to read that book in college.
Great book.
He doesn't find it at the end.
It's a search.
Right. Allison?
All right, fine. Again, I must go off book at the end. Okay. There were small, weird waves. Too choppy, so we left and went to town, but wound up at some awful bar with not a lot of ladies. The local women were ugly.
All right.
Jenna?
I wrote, There were too many people at the beach. Too many choppy waters. I don't know what I wrote here. So instead, we got cleaned up and went to town, but wound up at a bar with ugly women.
Surfing wasn't great because too many people were talking to me. So we just left and went into the city and found a dive bar that was not great. Lots of ugly women.
Chatter to the face. We were defeated by waves that came from the side. We got too much.
That's what I was thinking too.
I don't know. Does that happen? I don't know. We got too much water in our faces.
Waves. Sorry, go ahead.
We got too much water in our faces. So we left and went into town, but wound up at a dive bar with not a whole lot going on. The girls there were not the types I'd ideally like to have sex with.
Jeff?
The waves were ruined by winds running parallel to the shore. The face of the waves were choppy on their faces. So we egressed and went into town, but wound up at a hideous local bar with unattractive females.
Jeff, that is exactly what that sentence means.
Wow.
That is exactly what that sentence means.
Thank you.
The wind was not ideal for surfing, causing disturbances on the wave faces. So instead, we decided to venture into town for drinks, but wound up at a less than ideal bar where the local women were not to our liking.
Wow.
Talent is an unfortunate way that surfers refer to women. Did you ever hear that in high school?
I've heard that.
I don't think
Awful.
so.
Jeff, that was excellent.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
That was so hard.
That was hard.
The rest of
We
it
should
came
all be thankful that was hard.
I would never know what was going on around surfers. I'd just be constantly confused.
Did you ever speak like that, Greg? Excellent quiz, by the way.
Thank you,
you.
Alison.
Very
Thank
nice.
you.
Very
I
good.
feel like we're gonna have to do
My
this
wife
again.
says that I still speak like that. Whenever I get mad, I go, fuck. And she's always like, listen to yourself talk. You sound like such a surfer. And I'm like, no, I don't. And she goes, fuck. So I'll say some of that stuff occasionally without even thinking it. But I probably spoke like that when I was in high school. Yeah.
Mhm.
I probably did. Fuck.
It's kind of a requirement when you go to high school in
Orange County?
I think so.
Yeah, it's really a bummer. It's really sad. But a lot of those words are in my head all the time. I say stuff is epic, and it'll come out of my mouth, and I'll call one of my friends, and I'll be like, we just got out at Zoom. It was fucking epic. And then I'll hang up the phone, and I'll be like, why did you say that? But it's like genetically encoded into my body, and I can't excise it. Like I can't. It's just kind of the way that I was raised.
Maybe
That's
you have to
fairly
do an
bananas,
exorcism.
I would say. What? I should have some
exorcism.
sort of an exorcism.
It's
Get
the
rid of
language
the
of the
surf speak.
ocean.
I'm assuming Jeff won that quiz, didn't he?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
you had to.
Oh, no. Stop.
I feel like I got way too many points. You were very generous with points.
I felt like, if people got over 70% of it, I threw them the point.
Yeah, Jeff definitely won.
Yeah, for sure.
I came in last place.
Surprising. I feel like you got a few of those.
I got a few, but I gave up pretty quick.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So.
Let's do Just Me or Everyone.
Sometimes I ponder on something I have thought or done. Is it just me or everyone?
Dennis Cox says, Just Me or Everyone. Dread the fall winter, but get excited for winter clothes, i.e. pants, coats, long sleeves, maybe not in the South. Confused by the inclusion of maybe not in the South.
They don't, because they never wear clothes or
Okay.
something.
I don't know.
They never need to. Yeah, it doesn't get cold very often in the South.
Really?
I don't dread
Except last
the
year.
fall and winter,
Oh,
but I
me
do get
neither.
excited for fall winter clothes. In
Yeah.
fact, I hate this hot weather. It can go fuck itself.
I was so excited to be in Seattle, and I could actually wear a jacket and not
Yeah.
be sweating my ass off.
Yes.
It was amazing.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Definitely love the fall and winter clothes.
You like warm weather, Greg Heller?
No, I don't
Question mark?
actually like cold weather a lot.
You do?
more than I like
Okay.
warm weather, yeah.
Yeah.
And I like wearing big bulky sweaters and overcoats.
Yeah.
I always
Yeah.
really wanted to live somewhere where you could justify having overcoats.
I know.
Even in San Francisco, I lived in San Francisco for a while. Like, yeah, you could put on an overcoat, but you didn't really need an overcoat. So I have a couple of really nice overcoats that are just kind of rotting in my closet.
Yeah.
Remember 2 winters ago when it got really cold here? Remember that? It would get like 45 during the day a couple times.
Vaguely.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
It all
Maybe it was
blends
3, but
together.
as soon as it dipped below 50, I was like, fucking overcoat. I'm using this thing.
It's time.
Yeah. Definitely. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Okay. Nick says, just mirror everyone, when watching movies, find most of the dialogue exceedingly difficult to hear, but the music and sound effects startlingly loud. Yes, in general, I find there to be all sorts of ups and downs.
As someone in the home entertainment business, I can tell you the problem is that when they mix the sound for film, they're mixing it for theater sound. And often when they're making the DVDs and Blu-rays, they won't mix it the same way you would mix a TV show. So they're mixing it still with the effects and the music really hot, but the dialogue they're not boosting the way you would need to with a
boosting.
Boosting.
Well, that is fascinating.
Have you guys been watching Narcos?
No,
I heard
I
it's
need
great.
to.
None of you really? Because Narcos has that problem where it sounds like a lot of explosions. It sounds like they mixed it as though it was a film.
Yeah.
And then I can't hear any of the fucking
Yeah, like they're
dialogue.
mixing it, or they're mixing it for like 5.1 Dolby, and most people don't have the full surround sound going.
Right.
So, yeah.
We have been watching Mr. Robot, though, which I've talked about at length, on USA Now, and
Watched.
the show is one volume, and the commercials are another volume. And
Yeah.
I thought that they had.
That.
Sorry
Well, that's
for
the
anyone whose
USA's
ear I just-
on-demand thing where they insert the commercials like Hulu does, where
It's
you'll be
dynamic,
and so
yeah.
it's like, they don't.
I hate.
Oh yeah, Hulu does that really bad too.
Yeah.
It's just
Yes.
they make you
It's-
deaf during the commercial.
Didn't they do a thing in America a couple of years ago where they made it so the commercials and the TV shows have to be the same volume?
Yes,
So-
that's
There's a
what
law in America.
It's
that is what
legislation,
I
yeah.
pointed out. Yes, but I guess when it's
So what happens is they still seem louder because the dynamic range, I think they call it, is narrower with the
Squashed.
commercials and at the higher level.
Compressed.
So it's not louder than the loudest the normal show gets, but it's all at that level. So it seems louder because it's all kind of higher.
I actually am
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, perhaps that's true. What I wonder, though, is there is legislation to make it all have to be the same sound on regular television, but on something like USA Now, which is an internet-based thing,
Yeah.
maybe that doesn't apply, and that's why it's just screaming
Legal
loud.
gray area. perhaps.
Right,
Sure.
and the ads are being inserted from some other place. It's not
Right,
all going
so
through
they're-
some master
That's why we need
control.
change in this country.
Yeah, we do.
Because I feel like
That's
the
why I'm voting
ads
for
on,
Jeb
on
Bush.
demand should be the same as the ads on. That's like the most political thing I have to say. Are there any more JMOs?
No, that was it.
All right, you guys. Good show.
Okay. Kara,
Carib?
our home phone is actually ringing. It
I
never
wondered what
rings.
that was.
That is bizarre.
I was like,
we
Yeah.
have a home phone too, and when it rings, I freak out. Like,
It's
what's
so
happening?
exciting.
I know, and we have no voicemail
Must
on it.
be,
Who could
landlady.
possibly be calling?
Who calls on it?
Just our landlady.
It's literally the only person that has that
Sometimes
number.
my sister. Cara Poo Poo Bruta says, ears feel all juicy and shit inside. Swab those fucks and the swab comes out clean. What the fuck? Yes, I believe I have discussed this before. The discrepancy between what I feel is happening inside my ear and what I expect will come out on the Q-tip. And then all of a sudden, lo and behold, wow, that's not at all what I was expecting.
This
Yeah.
JMO is written in surf speed.
Yeah, it felt like it, huh?
Can you
Ears
read
feel
it?
all juicy inside and shit. Swab those fucks and swab comes out clean. Fuck.
I wish every time I put a Q-tip in my ear, gobs of earwax would come out because I feel like it would be the most satisfying
Yes.
It is
like
always
Okay,
very
you guys.
satisfying.
experience every
Let's
time.
have it out right now. If you could choose the three
Oh,
levels of
okay,
satisfaction.
here we go.
Giant booger that you
Ooh,
pick out of
okay.
your nose, enormous white head or black head that you pop, or huge clump of wax coming out on Q-tip. You must choose.
I think earwax for me.
Booger.
I second the booger.
Really?
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
I think it'd be the earwax. The boogers are just too messy and
No, but you get the whole thing, right?
What do you, like the
you
whole
get
booger?
it all.
Yeah, like you're not talking about like
Especially this one particular kind of booger that I'm sure has a name. That the end of it is dry, but it's glued to your nose with a wet string.
Yes.
And you get the and you get the M part, and then there's almost like those like hands that you can throw at a
Sticky
wall.
hands.
Sticky hands.
Yeah, like the
Sticky hand.
like the tail of it is deep inside your sinuses,
Yeah.
so you pull
Comet
it out.
book,
Yeah.
yeah.
You can feel it like behind your cheek.
yeah, like
Like, it's like,
spaghetti. And it, like you're
You
pulling it
almost feel
off
your
the
eye.
nasal wall,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you're like shearing it off there, and then it
Yeah.
finally snaps into your hand, and
Yeah.
you just have the dry thing with. Those are great.
It's like a magician's handkerchief. He keeps pulling it out of his sleeve.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, when the satisfying booger we're discussing, you get the whole thing. It's not like you just get part of it.
Yeah, otherwise, it's not satisfying.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm going booger.
Well, I guess I would also add to this flossing something smelly out of the back of your teeth.
Oh, yeah. I do love flossing.
I hate flossing. I cannot stand it. I know it's good for you and you should do it all the time. Every time I do it, it's like murder.
Nobody at this table is going to vote for Blackhead?
No.
Really? Daniel's thinking about it.
It's not as satisfying, though.
Because you're left with, it's not like when you're done, it's gone. You still have the residual.
Yeah, you still have
whereas with the earwax or the booger, it's like it's done.
Yes.
I agree with this butt woman or whatever her name is. What's her name?
Cara Poo Poo.
When you pull a Q-tip out of your ear that has a chunk of earwax on it, first of all, I have really bad surfer's ear. Do you know what that is?
No.
It means like the bones in my ear are fusing together to close off my ear canals.
Is that a surfer thing?
Super common among surfers. And so what happens is, and eventually they have to cut your ear off and drill holes into your bone. Most of my friends have had that surgery. I've been.
What is it? Is it just the briny sea?
It's your body's reaction to a constant flush of cold water is to the bones inside of your ear. It's called exostosis, fused together.
Wow.
But what happens is, as the bone grows, it shears off chunks of skin from inside of your ear.
Oh, that does sound fun.
So sometimes I'll get a tag of the skin, and then you can drag the Q-tip inside your ear, and like something will come out, and it looks like
an
a
ear
ball.
abortion. Oh,
it looks like a ball, but you could lay it on a counter, and it's like a map. Like you can unfold it, and it's like 5 times the size of the original ball.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I'm fascinated and revolted. But
it sounds horrible, but I get
no,
it.
You know how? Think about how satisfying.
No, I know. That's what I mean. I get it,
bloody?
but it's like kind of
it's not
scary.
bloody at all. No, it's just earwax with a giant piece of skin, like folding it together.
Barf.
Oh, it's great. It kind of looks like caramel that's still in a wrapping a little bit.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Like your ear is producing candy.
Do you ever think about the biggest zit you ever popped?
Yeah.
Do you know when it was?
Oh, Jesus, that was fast.
Yeah. No, I've had, because I don't break out very often, but when I get a zit, it's always one of those, like, it's the biggest one you could possibly get.
Right.
So, yeah, I remember having one where it just, like, oozed out. It was, like, right between my eyebrows, on the nose. And it was disgusting. But it was so exciting to get all the goop out. And then I felt like $1 million afterwards. Even though there was still the redness, it was like, I know that no longer lives in my face.
Because you know that thing when you're like, this thing happens where you're like aware of the contours of your own body. And sometimes you'll be feeling it and you'll be like, whoa, what's that? One time, like 5 years ago, I was rubbing behind my ear and I felt something and there was like a cyst behind my right ear.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at a shoot. We were like at a location shoot. And I remember I showed up and I was like, I'll be in the bathroom for the next 10 minutes. And I looked behind my ear and there was like a whitehead like the size of a dime.
Ugh.
No,
like a boil,
no,
I
you
think.
guys.
Yeah, that does sound like a boil.
And I squeezed it and like enough pus came out of it where it like I felt it going
Like
down
run
my
down
neck.
your
It
neck?
was like running down my neck.
That's a boil. I've had tons of those, and they are extremely painful.
Tons.
Yeah.
Okay,
I have.
I've turned Greg's
Yeah.
microphone off because I'm going to throw up.
Yeah, this is gross.
Yeah, this is probably a conversation for another time. But when I lived in Uruguay,
Would you get him in Uruguay?
I think that
Yeah.
we should.
Move on.
What is
Yes.
it caused by?
it's like it's just a virus. It's like basically it's like MRSA. You can have it's not good.
Wait,
It's not comfortable. Yeah, that's for
Where
sure.
did you get them and what happened?
The first, they tend to live in your nose. Is where like is where they like
the
Everyone's
bacteria.
dropping, you guys.
I know.
I know. That's why I said it's for another time. But I had a sinus issue where my cavities wouldn't like
They wouldn't drain
they wouldn't
properly.
drain.
Yeah.
And so if nothing's draining, then you get
Like the blood from my head right now?
yeah, you get bad things in there.
Hey,
And
Daniel's making the same face that he did when he was really stoned at dinner.
I know.
Oh my God.
Okay, we'll
Nothing
move on.
I like more
Yeah,
than
we'll talk
talk about
about
boils and pus.
It happens.
Yeah.
That's all
Yes,
I'm
Greg,
saying.
you had a boil. Just
All right. I was into it. Every now and then I feel the back of my ear and I feel like there might be another one and I get really excited, but it's usually some bullshit dust or whatever.
I know that. I know
You know
that
what I
thing.
mean?
I'm like, ooh, fun thing to pick on my. Oh, this is
yeah,
a remote.
yeah.
This is not. This didn't come from me. It's weird because you'd think that like pouring glue on your skin and peeling that off would be the same, but it's not. It's got to be something
like
from
methadone.
your body that you peel.
It's just like, a poor facsimile.
Sometimes I see couples on the beach and the woman will be popping zits on the dude's back.
I don't understand.
No,
that.
thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
All
thank
right.
you.
We're not done with this conversation.
Okay, Daniel?
My stepdad, oh my God, growing up used to,
Now I don't wanna listen.
my stepsister is 8 years older than me. So just keep in mind the age difference. She was like a teenager at this point.
My
And
dad once ate my sister's biscuit. Period.
And they would like just casually like when, hey, we're just going to watch TV. She'd lie on the ground and he would pop the blackheads on her back.
That is so inappropriate.
This is a father-daughter activity?
Well, I think she'd do it to him or to the brother. Like that's
Yeah.
the family
Symbiosis.
thing. Yeah, the family would just pop each other's blackheads.
Incest.
Ugh. And I was like, is that what people do when they get old enough? And I've never seen or heard that. That is not a thing people do.
No, that is not a thing. No.
Yeah.
No.
Did you know this already about Daniel's family?
Well, they're not my family anymore.
I didn't know this detail. I know some stuff, but not this one.
Was that the grossest thing they did?
Oh, man. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean,
I hope it was.
That is a really...
the grossest thing I'll admit to. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm in a fugue state of quasi-nausea.
Say that in surf speak.
I can't even really say that in English.
Just what's barf? Hurl?
It's probably just barf, actually.
Okay.
Barf. No, boot. It's boot, yeah. Fucking booted. Booted so hard. Right after we boned, I just fucking booted. I could bullet so much Keela. It's hurting.
Calling the dinosaurs on the big white telephone.
Totes.
Bruised by Dawn says, just mirror everyone. This is the generational one. The old chiffon jingle was always deliberately misquoted as, if you think it's butter, but it's snot, it's chiffon. I don't think I know chiffon.
I don't know chiffon.
I don't know that.
Anyone know chiffon? I feel like, wasn't chiffon in Mad Men? I bet Jeff knows because he just ducked.
What?
Oh, no.
Was that after Postum or before Sterno? I don't know.
Postum is a drink that people enjoy now in
Yeah.
my kitchen.
Yes. Not the new kind.
No, I know.
Yes, I remember it, and I remember the commercials. It's basically margarine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what? Maybe I
vaguely remember
maybe
the commercials
when I was young.
like a tiny kid, yeah. What was the question?
It's. I think that the actual song was "If you think it's butter, but it's not, it's chiffon," and he's saying that it was deliberately misquoted as "If you think it's butter, but it's snot, it's chiffon."
Oh, like excuse me while I kiss this guy, kind of.
Yeah.
But like the chiffon is snot.
And Goldilocks said, "Who's been eating my porridge?"
Mother Nature, was this on the porridge?
Yes, lots of my delicious butter.
That's chiffon margarine, not butter.
Margarine? Oh, no, it's too sweet, too creamy.
Chiffon so delicious it fooled even you, Mother Nature.
Oh, it's not nice to fool Mother Nature.
Sounds like the beginning of a Wu-Tang song.
Yeah.
It's not. It's
There.
You think it's butter, but it's not. It's chiffon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear it.
Did you guys grow up with margarine? That's what we grew up with.
Yeah.
Because it was supposed to be healthier.
No.
Always.
No, my mom always told us that it was worse for us. We were a strictly
knew.
challenge butter family, yeah.
That's
Remember with
not bad butter.
the deer or whatever on
Yeah.
the tundra? Yeah.
We always
We
had
went
butter.
from margarine to I can't believe it's not butter. And that's what we had in our house.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You never got to eat real butter? What about
Nope.
on corn?
Nope. 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 I don't like corn,
we were
but
butter.
Butter. Al?
You don't like corn?
Margarine
Don't.
until I got older, and then we went to real butter.
You don't like corn?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
wait.
don't.
They're
The
corn
band
haters
or
in
the
Jones,
food.
in the Jones house. They're
The
corn
band,
haters.
good.
So like even like fresh sweet corn right out of
With
the
butter
farm,
and salt
like,
on it?
on the cob.
Yeah.
You don't like that?
That's
Never
a
got
weird
into
thing
it.
to not like. Do
I
you like
know.
cornbread?
If you like
Most delicious
flossing,
things ever.
Occasionally, I'll eat cornbread. Yeah.
Baby corn?
Cornbread's one of the best
But
things
not
ever.
cornbread with actual corn kernels in it.
Get out.
So wait, it's the whole. I don't particularly love corn either. I like baby corn.
She
I'm
thinks
sorry.
baby corn is better.
I
than,
like
don't
baby
even-
corn quite a
Which
bit.
is baby corn? Like the
Ridiculous.
little baby ones?
Yeah.
Oh, they're just adorable.
And they taste good too, and but
I
not
don't
like
think I've
corn.
eaten one of those.
The whole Jones family doesn't like corn.
No, actually, a lot of my family likes corn.
They all hate it.
But we just didn't grow up eating very much of it. I think
It's like she comes from like my Midwestern family, and we like love Iowa sweet corn.
Yeah,
and
that's great
She just
stuff.
doesn't get it. Yeah.
Well, now how much of this has to do with growing up in South Korea?
so much of it.
Yeah,
yes,
you didn't grow
we
up with
didn't
corn.
have good corn, and the corn that I was introduced to was always just from a can.
Yeah.
And then the few times I've had like the corn that they grill, it's always covered in like tons
Mayo
of garbage. Yeah, and so it's
yeah.
like, well, it tastes good because all I'm tasting is like this chili powder with
Elote.
mayonnaise.
That's what you're
yeah,
talking
or
about.
whatever.
Elote.
Yeah.
That's what you're
And it's
talking
like, well, that tastes good, but then there's just something about corn. I like have no desire.
Need some fresh Jersey corn in the summer.
Oh, good
Oh
stuff.
man,
like
I don't
not liking
know.
corn is almost an anti-American activity.
I don't like
Feels that
watermelon
way.
either.
I don't like watermelon.
I don't either.
I don't
Yeah.
like watermelon.
What?
Either. My wife is mystified by I
Yeah.
don't like watermelon.
You
No,
like
my
watermelon?
grandma used to freak out because my mom serves a lot of corn now because, well, she would when my grandparents would come over, she'd make corn and water, whatever, in the summertime. And my grandma, she's passed away now, but one of the things I just don't understand you, Jenna. I just don't understand why you won't eat corn or watermelon. What's wrong with you? I mean, it was like, she just,
Upsetting.
it really bothered her.
I find watermelon kind of gross.
Yeah, it's a little bit
mealy.
mealy.
Yeah.
Yes, and granular
Yeah.
and icky. Daniel loves it.
It doesn't have a lot of flavor
Yeah, I
either.
love it. It's great.
I find it kind of gross.
Yeah, it's a little bit icky.
Oh, I'm
I love it.
glad. I
So
feel like
good.
camaraderie finally.
Thank you,
I
Al.
just, everyone's always, just give me that big hunk of water. No, get
Yeah.
out of here.
I'll tell you this much
Yes.
right now. Like, I feel like mango is everything watermelon wants to be. It's
Oh.
like 10 times as refreshing and twice as crisp.
I love
No.
mango.
No.
I could eat
Watermelon
100
any day.
mangoes in a week.
Me too. In fact, I've done that once. It's
Have-
terrible
have
for
you?
your.
Yeah, it's really bad for your stomach.
for your stomach.
This is very
Yeah.
niche. Can I get super niche with food?
I think we already are.
There's a specific
Niche-y.
kind of mango called a katit mango
Mhm.
that is grown on the East Coast for only 1 or 2 months a year. That is
Oh.
the most delicious fruit I've ever had in my life.
I don't think I know this mango.
Where'd you
I'm
get
not
it?
see it
familiar
for
with this
sale.
mango.
It's the most mango is like pomegranate, you know? It's like a nectar of the gods. You like
It's very
pomegranate,
good.
right?
So, yeah, I love pomegranate.
How do
Yes.
you eat pomegranate?
You got to beat it. You got to get it out.
I mean, I know
Hit it
how,
with a
I'm
wood
just
spoon.
saying.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh, and
We
then
used-
you just pop them.
We used
I
to
know.
eat
candy.
We used to eat pomegranates that weren't ripe yet, and I didn't know that they got ripe because there were these pomegranate trees when I was a kid, and we just grab it, and they were so they were really sour.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're like
Gross.
yellow and green, but I used to like them even. Is there a word for a fruit that isn't ripe yet?
I think unripe.
Unripe.
Unripe. There needs to be a word for that, though, right? Not unripe, just
Pre-ripe?
Pre-ripe, like that. I don't
Like,
know.
I agree.
You know, like a banana that's still green. It's what? It's,
gestating.
Pubescent.
yeah, it's
Right.
yeah, it's prepubescent.
Latent.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so we would eat those sour. I don't know.
You know
Probably
what
bad
is
for you.
not good though? This is bordering on. This is snack
Almost
chat
a
in the
snack
middle
chat.
of
I know.
JMO.
Almost a snack chat.
Snack chat. Mango flavoring, I find, like in drinks and things like
'Cause
that.
mango is
Fake
a strong
mango.
flavor.
Yeah, I like real mango,
Oh.
but fake mango lately I've been burned a couple times.
I don't
Yeah.
think I've had much of it, so I can't
not
really
good.
say.
Have you
Yeah.
ever had mango the way that Mexican people eat it?
I don't know what
Where
that
you
means.
peel it and you put it on a popsicle stick and you cover it in lime
Like
and
chili.
chili
Yeah.
sauce and salt.
Mhm.
Oh,
I have not.
Nothing compares to
That
that.
sounds really good.
I enjoy papaya.
Me too.
Yeah.
I had some this morning.
My sister
You did?
lives
I
in
sure did, yeah.
Thailand, and the one
Fresh
time,
papaya, though, not. You can get bad. Sorry,
Yes.
you can get bad papaya.
the one time I visited her in Thailand, I just ate fruit off the. I mean, just gobs and gobs of mango and pineapple, and it was the greatest experience. And it was like 10 cents for like a huge bag of it, and I had never had the run so bad in my life, but
no.
it was amazing.
I don't like papaya.
I like the apple and the pineapple. I like the apple and the pineapple.
Break it down. Whoa!
Apples, pineapple. Watermelon.
Al refusing to sing.
Wow.
One day you're gonna come home and someone's gonna knock on your door and you're gonna open it and someone's gonna be like, "You've been served," and it's gonna be some Korean dude is like, "You owe us $450,000
Right.
for repeated broadcasts of the Apple and Pineapple song."
Oh, yeah, right.
All right. Where are you guys? I'm going to throw a few fruits at you.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Peaches, nectarines, cherries.
Love them all.
I think nectarines are better than peaches.
That's
Oh my
crazy.
God.
Yes.
That is fucking.
mind.
Get
That is
on the
fucking
mic.
crazy.
Yes.
Get on the mic.
You're out.
Yes.
I was
That is
so
crazy.
aghast. I had to.
Yeah,
peel
that's
back.
the worst of the three.
That's
I don't-
Peaches are
crazy.
delicious.
No, I'm with you. I like
No, stop
that
it.
nectarines are firmer
Yes, I don't
and
need
Yeah,
that
wait.
fuzzy shit.
yes.
Stop it. Just stop it.
I'm so, well, look,
A fresh, delicious peach
Is
and
messy.
A white
is
peach,
way
actually.
better than any nectarine.
A nectarine has no
And-
nectar. It's one of the most ill-named fruits in the world.
And
There's no
cherries are
juice in it.
delicious.
Yeah, there is.
It's
a good
tart.
nectarine. Yeah, I like
it's
it.
not mealy. Like a
Yes.
peach can be mealy.
I gotta tell you,
Yes.
like, there's a couple of
I
stone.
don't want a peach to fall apart
Yes,
when I'm eating it.
yes.
I call bullshit on some stone fruit. First of all, my dad used to just like force feed me nectarines when I was a
Stone
kid.
fruit,
We'd
bro.
go hiking in Yosemite and I'd be like, I want a Milky Way, and he'd be like, you'll have a nectarine. Nectarines, apricots, dog
Yes,
shit, right?
The worst.
And
Actually,
They have too much air inside of them.
I'll
I
eat
like
'em.
how easily
Yeah.
they break off of the pit.
Yeah, they're
Plums.
too sour.
Sometimes
I like
okay.
plums.
No
I like all of these fruits. I like, but peaches are the winning fruit. Red pears.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've never
love
had
all
one, but I
pears.
was I don't love pears, so I don't know if I'd like red pears.
All pears are delicious.
Pears are like
You're
avocados.
crazy.
They have a very small window when they're perfect.
That's
Like,
why
so
I don't like them.
I get up sometimes in the morning. This is a thing that I do, and I'll open my eyes and I'll be like, if I didn't put the fucking avocado in the fridge, and I'll run into the kitchen. I'll be like, I missed the avocado window, and I do that with peaches too. Where I'll be like, it wasn't ready last night, and I'll as I wake up, I realize like in that 6 hours or whatever, that tiny window where it was perfect.
They need an app that alerts you when
Yes!
the avocado is perfect.
Yes. Oh, that is
window.
such a good idea.
Set
You
it
get
and
the
forget it.
Yes, you get the avocado and you photograph it.
Greg's avocado Haas window.
Yes, and you photograph it, and it analyzes the avocado for doneness, and then it sends you an alert like in 3 hours.
Avocado.
The avocado was perfect. Seriously, that is a really good idea.
I am excited to be the first to present to you the new avocado.
Only works on Haas.
Okay. All right. Stephanie says buying Kleenex instead of just using toilet paper for all things nose related equals look at me, I'm an adult. To me, it's look at me, I have money. Because the lean years, and that does not refer to my physique, I just use toilet paper for everything. But
Allison,
then,
Al stared at Jenna when this question was asked.
We had this conversation today on the way home from the
in the
airport.
car. Yes.
do tell.
There was a roll of toilet paper in my center console
Oh, brother.
where I asked Jenna, why is there a roll of toilet paper? And she's like, I
have a cold.
I always use toilet paper when I have cold. And I was like, you don't use Kleenexes? And she never grew up using a Kleenex for anything because it was too expensive. And they would spend money on other things. So they had to use either toilet paper
Or a towel.
to blow their nose.
A
Yeah.
towel,
Sounds
not
painful.
a paper towel?
No, my mom would. So she. This is my mom's been listening to the podcast, and she's like, "Your memories of your childhood." But my recollection is that tissues were like for when guests came over. So she would have them in the house, but
For
we
when
didn't really
sick
use
guests
them.
came over.
Right? And so we used toilet paper, which was cheaper, or she would just like, if you were sick in bed, she would just give you a towel and be like, go at it.
It's a handkerchief. I mean, it's
I
just a
can
fuzzy
understand
handkerchief,
that.
I suppose.
Yeah.
But I mean, if someone walked by your car, Al, like say at work, and they saw it, they just think you're like wiping your butt before you go into the office.
Right. Just extra prepared in case the
Yeah,
big
look
one
at Al.
hits.
Al
Boy,
has
he's
some
got-
continence issues and he can't make it to the office.
I was worried about his dirty butt, and he doesn't care who knows it.
Although when we were at the hotel in Seattle, they had a little box of Kleenex in the bathroom, and I did walk by, and then I went, "Ooh, square tissues!"
I almost
I'm
took
like
them.
a rich person.
Yeah, it does feel like a luxury.
It does.
Does it?
It does to me.
Yeah, because I spent so many years without them. But when I met Daniel, he had Kleenex, and now he's. It
Well,
was
we
so
grew
nice
up-
to get back to living with Kleenex.
I don't think we had Kleenex in my house growing up. So when I got to the point where I could really afford things.
Right when you made it.
Yeah, when I made it, I go, I can not only buy Kleenex, I can buy them in multiple different shapes. I could have the square
We
box.
have rectangle and square.
Wow.
Yeah.
You can put them in different places.
You know those little purse things of Kleenex?
Yes, we have those.
My mother was never without one of those and was constantly fucking shoving one of those things up my nose. My mom would across the car would see a booger in my upper nose and would grab me and be like, come here. And she would squeeze my nose with the Kleenex and squeeze the booger out. And she was really good at extracting boogers. Thank you, Mom, if you're listening.
Oh, man.
It's interesting. I didn't think a thank you was coming.
You know,
at the
with,
end of that.
with infants, they have those little, have you seen those little suction things
Yeah.
to get the boogers out?
Oh,
They
we
should have
have
those for
one.
adults.
You do? You guys ready to suck some boogers out?
Oh, yeah. We got one.
They should make bigger ones, like the turkey baster size for
your
adults to
nose?
suck your boogers
I feel
out.
like the one that we got in our little, because we got this little
first aid kit,
baby
right? Or,
kit. Yeah, it has like a thermometer and all these different things in this cute little bag that you can roll up and put in your diaper bag.
Al, what color was the stuff that came out of your cis, would you say?
White and yellow, and then blood.
Don't do this.
Was it that? Was it that?
Was mine? Yeah, that's what mine was.
Yeah,
too.
you had a boil.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pus and I don't know what and blood. Okay. So anyway, go back to baby kit.
But the nose
So Greg
snot
gave
sucker,
his crew MRSA, and then what's the rest of the story?
the snot sucker is huge. Like, I don't want to stick it in the baby's nose. I don't feel like her nose is even going to be that big
You'll
for a
get
while.
brain or something.
Yeah.
Right?
You never know.
I know. Anyway, what were we saying?
Okay.
Hey,
You're Paula
Alison,
Greg.
I
any
posted
more?
an Instagram photo last week about these non-Haas avocados I saw at Trader Joe's.
Yes.
And like 100 Alison Rosen fans wrote me back about it, but they spelled Haas Haas.
Oh.
And I would just like to point out that that's a common misconception. It is spelled Hass. That's
Thank
how you
you.
spell Haas avocado.
Thank you. I commented they look like limes.
They did look like limes,
Yeah.
but it's Hass. I wanted to use this forum to point that out to people from the bully pulpit that in fact that's how you spell Haas.
Quick question.
Shoot.
Let's say I were to cut into one of these non-Haas avocados. What kind of taste sensation would I experience?
I would say stringy.
Ew.
Sometimes they have milk inside them.
Mm-hmm.
They tend to be mushy. There's air between the fruit and the skin that's really gross. Pass.
Okay, thank you.
Don't do it unless you're in a situation where that's the only avocado that's being afforded to you.
Jeff Bergeron says, just me or everyone, cold sandwiches taste better with hot tater tots or fries. Hashtag snack chat. Is chips.
Taste better.
No.
Cold sandwiches. I'm
'cause,
wondering, as
no.
opposed to a warm sandwich or as opposed to a cold fry?
Or like a chip.
Right, or just, yeah.
But like tuna salad, you want Lay's.
Yeah.
Yeah, chips.
Yeah,
Totally.
I don't like warm
Yeah.
fries with my cold sandwich.
Yeah,
No.
you want.
No.
All right.
I disagree.
Sorry,
Just
Jeff.
you.
Everyone
Just you.
strongly
Just
disagrees.
you.
Sorry, Bergeron.
CT Olson says, whenever someone treats me to lunch or dinner, I scale back on the amount/price of food I'd get if I was paying for myself. Yes, I think
Yes.
you do that math of like, what's the sort of median here? What's everyone getting?
Sounds like
Depends
you have
on who's-
class.
Who's buying, though?
Does it?
That's true.
Sure. If it's like if my dad comes to town
Dad.
and he's taking me to dinner, it's
That's
like,
true.
I want it all. Just one of everything,
Yeah,
please.
Dad is different than boss.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh,
For sure,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Rich Bryant says, paper towel. Ooh, another paper product.
Oh,
tweet.
geez.
Paper chat. Paper towel dispensers have gotten worse. Have we done this one? When they first came out, wave your hands, boom, towel. Now I wave and flail, nothing. We haven't done this one?
No.
Okay,
I don't
I'll
think
read
so.
it again. Paper towel dispensers have gotten worse. When they first came out, wave your hands, boom, towel. Now I
Boom,
wave
towel.
and flail, nothing.
Now- yeah.
I think that might be true.
I think that's
Now
totally
they want
true.
you to wave your hands
Yeah.
around enough so that they're dry, and then the paper towel never comes out.
But if
and
you're
you save the
flailing
treat.
your hands, maybe you need to get closer to the paper towel dispenser.
But I just think it's a narrower window. It used to be you just walk in and a towel comes out.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I
They
think
just
it's
don't
a
work.
sense- Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think though that they like have them set so that you get like a half a paper
Right.
towel,
Oh, yeah, you get a
and then you're like,
thimble.
by the time I ripped this off the machine, it's soaking,
Yes.
and now I have nothing to dry my hands.
Do you know what the
with.
boss move is at my office is? They have two dispensers right next to one another, and you hold your hands in front of both of them.
Smart.
And you go swipe, swipe. That's the boss move.
Yeah, that is.
I like to, when they don't give up a towel, I give them a backhand to the little blinking eye sensor, and they always spit out a towel.
Really?
Do they?
Yeah, it's very satisfying.
That works. You know, all the toilets at my office are like auto flush. So if you're going to take a really loud dump, you can't like pre-flush to cover the sound of the dump. And I was working on it last week. Like I was trying to figure out, like, if you sit down and then you sit right back up and then you sit right back down, could you get a flush in the middle to cover the sound? But it doesn't work. Like they know when you've dumped. Like I almost feel like there's a scale in them.
Inside.
Have you tried
Yeah.
leaning forward though? It might be how much forward you are rather than how high you are. Like the sensor.
That might be.
They don't give you a button on there because sometimes they have them where you can hit a button where it'll.
No,
force
this one
it.
is just motion sensor.
Oh, it's
that's
motion
not cool.
sensor.
Yeah, I think it's uncool.
I'm anti.
Yeah.
What?
And you can't do the pre-flush before you start to make sure that the toilet is flushing.
But also,
you know that you're not going to end up doing a number two and then can't flush and overflooding.
You ever have that thing happen at work where you realize you're wearing really distinct shoes one day?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then you like see the shoes in the stall next to you and you're like, oh no, that's my AP, John.
Yeah.
He knows my shoes for sure. Why did I wear these shoes when I knew I was going to dump today at work? And last week at work, after like, the 2 p.m. dump rush, the 2 doors opened and the dude turned the wrong way and we turned into each other and we touched right after pooping. Our
That's
bodies
really bad.
touched.
When you're wearing distinctive shoes, there's someone next to you, what you need to do later is when you see that person go, do you see that guy that has the same shoes as me in the office?
I can't believe Ted wore the same shoes as me to the office and took a shit at 2:14.
Yeah.
What's his problem?
I mean, he's gone now, so you can't see, but
He's on assignment or whatever for the rest of the day, probably shitting somewhere.
Yeah, that guy really...
All he does is shit.
I
Fuck
heard
you,
that
Jeff.
guy takes really stinky shit.
Oh, man. His butt is so loud, he sits down, it's just like 10,000 farts and then a huge crap in my shoes. Just me or everyone.
Yeah.
And lastly, Ariana says, when I listen to the show without headphones, my dog goes nuts every time Colonel Jeff Fox plays the Wendy barking drop. Just me or everyone. Well, it's not just you. It is also us. Oh, this is what you hear when you're stoned.
I feel like I'm very confused.
Thank you all for your wonderful Just Me or Everyone's. If you would like to submit a Just Me or Everyone, tweet it to @ARIYNBF. Hey, if you're going to buy something on Amazon, perhaps some paper towels or Kleenex or mangoes, click through the Amazon banner on my website, AlisonRosen.com. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it helps out the show. Thank you for your Amazon support. Thank you for your PayPal support. PayPal links on the right side of the website, AlisonRosen.com. We have ringtones and singles and whatnots available.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
Get those and this on gumroad.com/Alison. That is GUMROAD.com/Alison. Also, the song that Greg made for the Owl Quiz, that's available for a pay what you wish price. Also, I should point out the Hey Go Fuck Yourself ringtone is available on iTunes as well. If you're someone who...
My job just ended, so it's now $35 per song. Limited time only.
And we have special bonus episodes available as well. They're on iTunes. You can find those. Follow me on Twitter @AlisonRosen. Follow the show's Twitter feed @ARIYNBF. Don't forget to get your t-shirt. Jeff, where should we go for you?
You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Colonel Jeff Fox. And there's a new episode of Barracuda Radio out, available where finer podcasts are found.
Daniel?
You can find me at Daniel Quantz, QUANTZ, on Twitter and Instagram. Yeah, that's it. Just tweeting and Instagramming.
Al?
Pictures of Wendy.
At Allan Moss, 2 A's, 2 L's, 2 S's on Twitter and Instagram.
And Jenna?
Oh, take a minute. Check out our podcast, Sorry Not Sorry, with Jenna Kim Jones. You can find it on my website or on iTunes. Just search Jenna Kim Jones.
And Greg?
Hey, I just want to thank everybody for watching the comment section on E After the Soup for the last 6 weeks. We did really well, so thank you guys.
Congratulations.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening. I love you. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen Show? We had a good time, but now we gotta go. Yeah, Alison Rosen is your new best friend.
See, Daniel.
See, Daniel?
See, Daniel.
Okay.
See, Daniel.
See, Daniel? I'm no longer gonna be Lee Cuisine's bitch.
fucking dead horses. You look like you've been chatting box, man.
Dave Matthews Band.